Okay, so how many times a day do you catch yourself saying, I'm sorry, when you don't actually have anything to apologize for?
Yeah, every day 1 in 4 people actually apologize for something outside of their control. And studies say women do it a lot more than men. Check this out.
Sorry, is this coffee?
Mike, she wanted a water, not a coffee. Can you get her some water instead?
This is my fault.
Would any of you ladies like a coffee?
I'm sorry. I don't want it to go to waste. Yes, I'll take it. Thank you.
I'm sorry! I'm sorry! I'm sorry! I've ruined everything! It's all my fault.
Okay. Obviously, that Amy Schumer skit is an exaggeration, but there was a dose of truth in there. So joining us now to help people break the cycle of over-apologizing is mindset coach and author Laura Gassner Otting. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so you coach women, a lot of women, and you find that sometimes, often in the workplace, they are apologizing. Why is that so?
Yes, so we are taught as women and girls, when we're young, to be very nice, not to take up space, not to be too loud, but we should be successful. And then when we are successful, we get these mixed messages. You should be ambitious, but not too greedy. You should be smart, but not a know-it-all. Right? So we get all of these pressures for how we're going to be. And as women, we tend to be more attuned to other people's feelings. We tend to think about how what we do affects them. And so as soon as we think maybe we're taking up too much space, we're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
And why do some people say sorry more so than others?
So we think that women actually apologize more, but it turns out that men and women both apologize about 80% of the time that they think they're wrong. It's just that men don't think they're wrong as often.
Because we're not.
So women are apologizing more, but it's only because we actually think we're wrong more.
So instead of saying sorry, are there other words that you should kind of say, especially when you're teaching children about apologizing?
Yes. So in our house, we always said that an apology doesn't mean anything unless it's actually meaningful. So we're taught to say sorry like it's this verbal tick. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But if you say sorry and when you apologize, you acknowledge you did something wrong, you actually acknowledge what that wrongdoing felt like to the other person, and then have a plan about how you're not going to do it again. Like, I'm sorry that I said that. I understood that it hurt your feelings. And next time, I'm going to be more thoughtful about what I say before I open my mouth. Then we can teach children not to just get the same over-apology verbal tick, but to actually give a meaningful apology when it's meaningful.
Right.
When I used to work at ABC News and a small startup network.
I've never heard of it.
One of the things during our correspondent anchor training to be able to be part of the culture that they said is to never apologize, never say sorry, because it is a sign of weakness, and weakness gets just torn apart in certain environments. Is it a sign of weakness?
I mean, it can be a sign of weakness. I think it depends on where you are, and it depends on who you're talking to. I used to have a boss that would scream at me all the time, and I was like, "Why are you? I can't keep fighting with you. Why are we fighting?" And he was like, "What do you mean fighting? We're just talking." Like he was raised in the Bronx. Like that's not how I communicated. And so I think it depends on who you are and how you communicate, but also thinking about the other people around you, about what kind of message you want to give.
Okay, let's talk about messaging. How can people be more confident in what they're saying and not just default to apologizing?
Okay, so my favorite Eleanor Roosevelt quote is this one. We would worry much less about what other people thought about us if we realized how seldomly they did. It turns out people aren't paying that much attention to you. So we can take the heat off. We can take the heat off ourselves, right? Like nobody notices that you're 30 seconds late for the meeting until you're like, I'm 30 seconds late, I'm 30 seconds late. So like, take the heat off. Nobody's paying attention. It's okay. Number one. Number two, understand that disagreement and debate sometimes is actually the way you get to better, smarter decisions. So you don't have to worry so much about it. Maybe if you have like a conflicting point of view. And then the third thing is stop being so nice all the time. We don't have to always be nice and make sure everybody else feels good. We can actually remember that we have kindness in us. We can be polite to other people. We could also be direct. And so to change the feeling from I have to be nice all the time to I can just be kind takes the heat off and stops the over-apology as well.
All right, Laura. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
No more sorry. As Beyonce says, I ain't sorry.
Right.
Laura, by the way, has more tips on her Instagram. You can follow her at HeyLGO.
All right, in the meantime, let's go ahead and send things